Well, hello everyone. My name is Marty and welcome to my channel. I'm sitting out here taking a nice break in the sun. It's just come over. It's about 6:30 and I've been out here for the last couple hours, out and in, letting pups out, stuff like that, feeding, watering. And during that, I had this aha moment. And it's like, how did my mornings get so peaceful? Where did that feeling of dread dissipate? When did that totally dissipate? And why? I always say you gotta find the why. If you're gonna question anything or learn, ask yourself why. And I discovered that I wasn't doing some things. I'm like, well, how is that possible? The feeling of dread went away because I'm not doing some things. And it's like, because you discovered don'ts. And this was very powerful for me. So I'm going to give you today 3 don'ts to lazy gardening. Now, my number one aha moment and discovering why was I'm not doing things. Why was I procrastinating? I'm not a procrastinator. And I discovered that there was too many steps put into stuff. So don't put too many steps into it. Whatever you're doing, reduce those steps. Because if you don't, it's going to suck the motivation out of you. And I applied that this year to starts. I insisted last year from the get-go, I am not doing starts this year. Then I got talked into, and I am enjoying a couple of collabs, or I think 3 collabs, okay? Because it was minimal, and I refused to do any more. And I thought, well, how am I going to enjoy this? Because I don't enjoy the uppotting process. It was discouraging because my plants would be set back and very disheartening to watch your plants suffer like that. And I'm like, do we really need all these steps? And I decided, no. What's the worst that can happen? It could be a fail and lesson learned. So I picked 6-inch pots, for example, planted with my grandson, Jameson. I planted with him tomato seeds and pepper seeds, okay? And those plants are thriving because I don't up pot anymore. So I thought, okay, I had a thought since last year was I wanted to trial a couple of rows in a couple of locations, seeds directly sowed into the ground. And those seeds were going to be my family's heirloom tomato seeds. Because I thought, well, they're hardy seeds. They're developed for cold weather. They're developed to withstand cold temperatures, so the ground is going to be cooler. And fortunately, the weather was with me on this experiment this year because it was warmer sooner and cooperated. And wow, I have like the healthiest plants I've ever seen. Now that could be totally different next year, and that would be another whole video. So staying on topic, that first don't is reduce your steps. And guess what? I have hardly any anxiety with the garden because right from the beginning, I didn't fall out of love in the house, starting seeds that weren't coming up, having to turn them every day, even under the grow lights, and all the different things that went with it. I kept it simple. I didn't go too big, and I refused to up pot. So don't do too many steps. And it worked. And I've been applying that to other things. So the second thing is, and this might be controversial, Um, and I'm out in the country, so it really doesn't matter to me. And that is, stay in your jammies. Don't get dressed. So there's your second don't. Don't get dressed. Now, if you need to get dressed because you're going outside and the public sees you, then absolutely, of course. So what I do, and what I did, sorry, when I lived in town, was I wore like my yoga pants and my, comfy shirt, jammies for the day. People don't realize that's how I think of them. So don't think of them as clothes. Find your comfortable clothes, have them beside your bed, jump into your comfy clothes, or if you sleep in your jammies, then there you go. Go out in your jammies, throw on your house coat. I've gardened in my house coat. I enjoyed it the most. And I was thinking of, why did I enjoy that the most? Because I didn't get dressed. I eliminated a step. That is a motivation buster right there. Sometimes, if you're not feeling well, health reasons, busy in your life, stressed out, whatever's going on, simply reducing that step and staying cozy. Because, what about that 5 more minutes, Mom? Just 5 more minutes in bed, right? How cozy that feels. The same thing applied in my head, thinking, I like the coziness of the clothes that I have, and I choose them specifically because I'm bending, crouching, reaching, doing all kinds of tasks. So stay comfy, whatever it is. If you've got overalls, or you're in the winter, like your suspender things, you got to go to the greenhouse, find the coziest items and look forward to jumping into them. And 3, don't bring your stuff inside. I did not know this was going to be one of my biggest don'ts. I discovered one day, looking at a flipped up garden bed. Now, some of you might have seen the video. And it was my last one to remove, and it was a little bit rotted on the one side. And we just weren't sure what we needed to do with that. It was the best recycle or upcycle I have had. Now, mind you, it's not going to last long. It was just temporarily put there just to see if I liked working there. I absolutely adore working there. But I needed a prep station, and this solved that. So don't take it inside. So what I do when I come out in my jammies, my comfy clothes, my overalls, your happy clothes for in the morning, bring out your water, bring out your sharp knife, bring out your cutting board, because today I was going to pick rhubarb, and I knew that because I have rhubarb that's in the dehydrator right now. It's almost done. And I'm like, okay, the kids are still sleeping. The dogs are back into bed. I am going to prep that, and I'm not going back in the house. So I've been doing this for a while, and again, my production has increased, and I'm not worn out, I'm not stressed out, and I eliminated a step. Don't go inside. So I have a tall work table outside, so that functions as my counter space. I lay it all out. I have a traffic flow. I pick what I need. I throw it on the table. I cut off the tops. I cut off the ends. I have a tray there with water in it. It goes in that tray with water, or wash basin, whatever you have. And then I chop it up. It goes in a bowl. So by the time the kids are up, I'm going to have that dehydrated rhubarb cooled off and a new batch in for the day. And it's going to be dehydrating while we're off doing something fun. like, this is multitasking at its finest, but I didn't even have to really think about it. It just starts to flow organically because I changed my way of thinking and started adding in a few don'ts that were very healthy and very helpful and relaxing. And while I've stayed outside, like I said, the leaves and the ends have been chopped off. They're off to one side. There's another little patio table there. I slipped that stuff over there because I haven't added in the key step there. And that is to put a bucket there, like a 5-gallon bucket, so I can just drop those leaves in. And then when I have a moment, and before I go inside, I walk maybe 30 feet away and drop that in my compost. And then when it's time to go in, I just grab this and it goes in. And that's all been cleared off. And it's fabulous. Like, why was I taking stuff in the house? Because the water was in there. I don't have a water hookup right here. So in the mornings now, I bring water out with me. And that's kind of my motivation thing. And it's like, oh, well, what are we going to do here? And take my knife out with me and keep the mess outside. Because I was bringing it in, doing things inside, chopping the leaves inside and stuff. And then I had to bring it outside. So what I did inadvertently was add a whole bunch of extra steps and everything. And I'm like, and I'm not liking this. Because I didn't pay attention and stop taking it inside. Now, ultimately, I will have a spot here for one of my dehydrators, but we're all open at the back of my house, as you can see by the sun coming down on me, other than a small little umbrella over the table there. So that is going to be solved so that I have a nice, canopy. It might be just as simple as a sunshade. So my 3 don'ts have made life so much easier for me. I don't plant in 3 or 4 different size pots. I don't up pot. I plant in one size pot or I plant in the ground. I just keep it really simple. And my other don't was not get dressed. Go outside in my jammies or put on my comfy clothes that I wear inside and I wear them outside. It's whatever keeps you happy. And I don't go inside. I do all my prep work outside. Anything that I bring in from my garden, I put it on my high counter prep table there that I have upcycled. And I keep the mess outside. The water I use to wash up stuff, I put it over in my garden and I water it there. I've eliminated so many steps with my don'ts, and I'm looking forward to finding more. So if you've liked this video, hit like, subscribe, share, and please drop me comments. What are your don'ts? Take care, everyone.